Nefriti. What is Nefriti? All my titles of my songs are kind of nonsensical. I don't really know where the songs titles came from, but I remember this, that when I first began writing songs, I remember to write a title, and it was a fun search in my brain. What do I want to title this thing that I'm playing right now? So what I'm saying is, like, I used to actually have times when I was writing songs, and in order to remember what song I was writing, I used to write a title to it. And the titles were not necessarily real words, and they weren't really spelled the right way, but they were the title, the personal title of that song, and that kept that little chord progression or that little riff or whatever intact in my mind, and I could remember in the future what I was playing because of the title. And it is an I, and it is pronounced like an E, F-R-I-T-I, but it's pronounced ne. It's like ne, then free, F-R-I, and then T, Nefriti. What Nefriti is, I don't know, but it's a great song. Anyway, so this bass line right here is really, any of my chords or whatever can be played in your style, even incorrectly of what I've written here, but at least my writing will get you to that zone where you can have new experiences with a keyboard. Whatever you want to do, follow along, and or not play exactly the way it's written. Because that's not the purpose here. The purpose is not to play exactly as it's written, just to learn, do whatever you want to do. In this bass line, you'll see it does go into a rhythm, and it's playing the root, the fifth, and the root. The fifth and the root. There's the root and the root and 8, 1 and 8, 1 and 8, and the fifth in between. Is this drifting on me? It's funny, the pitch is still drifting, but I'll let it go. So this is the rhythm of that. Now, as in many jazz classes and stuff like that, they always say, oh, we're going to teach you jazz, and then they start nice step going the right way, and then all of a sudden they jump to something, and they're just jamming on their own, and you're just watching them jam. Not here in studioEkeysongs. I will repeat things over and over again. I'll go back. I'm playing this bass line. And by playing this bass line, I don't have to play it this way. I could just go like this and play it all solid. In other words, I could get the notes, because if you look at the bass line throughout the whole page, wait a minute, I have to move this. Oh, that's right, I can move it. I forgot it's on the screen. If I have to go down here, look how long it keeps doing the same. Right? All right, now, okay, so what is going to jam on top of that bass line? And even if you're just going like this, just those 3 notes, B, B, and F sharp in between. Well, I have a little Nefriti scale, a little Nefriti street, and it is B, C sharp, D sharp. That sounds like a normal B major street, right? Then an E, yeah? And that's the 4 of a major street, then the 5, and then wait, there's no 6 in this street. It goes to the 7th, not the major 7, it goes to the 7th, the jazz, the blues street 7. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, no 6, 8. Anywhere, low or high on the keyboard. All those notes are legal notes, or not legal. Well, of course they're legal. These are legal to play with these 3 notes. Isn't that cool? And I can kind of go to the squish ones, because remember, and then go beyond the octave, see everywhere. Here, I'll do it solid. Isn't that cool? The clusters, remember we do the clusters? We go 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, just to see a street. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? There it is. They all are. They all are. The notes of Nefriti Street. Oh, no, I'm playing the 6 wrong. I only need 3 fingers. 1, 2, 3 in this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1 in the left hand. Well, I guess you can see that kind of. I'm trying to get these angles down too. playing really fast because I'm playing in clusters with my two thumbs together. Just like you can on a major. That's 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a full B one. 4, 3, 2, 1 in the fingers, and 1, 2, 3, 4. But you can do any of the scales like that. Just play them really fast and see them. You can block them. This is what it looks like all over the keyboard. I've always wanted to have a little keyboard I can say, here's all A, here's all A7, here's all B, here's a B minor 7 2, whatever. And the whole keys, because the whole key should light up wherever there's a legal note. Don't be a legal note, want a legal note. And so, legal note in the B does not include the 6. Because on top of this, so I can go anywhere as long. I wish they all lit up so you can all see the lit up, but I'm playing only the legal notes of the street. See? Isn't that cool? Okay, so you're going to jam that for a while, you're going to jam for that while, you're going to jam for that while, and that's really cool. And then I made a melody out of it, and it went, and that's right here in the, I almost said script, but it's actually the score, or what do you call this? And then I went 1 major 7. Well, I said it was 7. Oh, I just broke a law of my own. But that's okay, because you're just doing anything you want anyway, right? But when I'm explaining it, I'm going to give you a law, and that is I'm not using a 6 at all. And I'm not using a major 7, I'm using a 7. But here I broke my own rule in the second note of the song. In the melody, though, not in the jamming and not in the left hand. Just in the melody. Melodies can break anything because they rule. A melody can do anything it wants to do, except hopefully be out of pitch, which is not good to have a melody out of pitch. So eventually in this song, I go into, and by the way, the chords that I use are so cool that I've invented some of them. B sus4, you've heard of before, but here's a 2, and I do use 2s, and I mean, this is a 2. I'm sorry, this is a 2 chord. I'm playing these clusters. I don't even do that. 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. And I always play 4-note chords because I think you can see them better if you have an octave around them. So here's an F2. See, it's the F and the F. I call them around them. In other words, I'm only playing in between. And also in Studio E, I only do in between 8, except for in +9 and flat 9. You will not see 11s. 11s are 4s in here. 13s are 6s. And there's nothing that goes beyond 8 in Studio E. Doesn't rhyme with E, but it's a rule that I've always had because I made all this stuff. It's all my ideas, so I'm not blaming anyone for it, and I'm not going to take any credit from anyone because I just made them up myself. From me self-teaching myself my whole life. And by the way, it advanced all the way to being able to read notes, and I was not until 20 until I started really learning how to read notes. So just think about that. But then I got into chords. Anyway, so I invented some of the chord numbers, whatever, here, so you can see them all. And whenever I stack chords, I don't add them up. You have an E minor 7 with a 2, not an E minor 9, but an E minor 7 with a 2. Or it could be here, or it could be here. But it's a 2 everywhere, not a 9. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And then if I just change, I have an E minor 7 2 with an E bass. Remember, I don't have to play. I hardly play the whatchamacallit, the letter of the. Oh, what do I want to say here? The rule. The rule is you don't have to play the letter name in the right hand guitar part because the bass player is covering it. So here I got the E minor 7 2. I was putting the 4 in there, but that's because it's a legal note you can do in the jam. But anyways, that's a little bit later. Now, if I just move this note to C with the same top, I get a whole different chord. It is a major 7 now with a 2 and a +4. Remember, I have a C bass, it's not a 2 anymore. It's now a +4 because the distance away from the bass note that you can't see because it's in the left hand is playing this. But you have a +4. But a +4 is cool in what? A major 7. It's a nice, pretty addition to a major 7. A +4. Not a 4. 4 sounds bad. +4 sounds great. So that's what we have here. We have moved from the E minor 7, which was the 2 was the F sharp before, and now when I move it down here, it becomes the +4, but I put a major 7 around, which is the same chord as an E minor, right? So I have an E minor 2 in the right hand with a C bass, but it's not fraction correctly, because it's like in any fraction, like you would never have 2, 4, you'd always have 1/2, right? Like 2 over 4, you'd have 1 over 2. Well, it's the same in chords in music. So an E minor 7/2, when you move down the C, you could say, oh, that's just an E minor 7/2 with a C bass. But you can reduce it further to the correct letter, which is an E major 7 with a +4. And that's what it says right here. E major 7 +2 +4, 4. So you'll get the definitions throughout all of my music that are correct. Here's an A major 7 with a B bass. Now that's an actual fraction. A major 7, but not an A bass. I want a B bass. It's notated and it is cool because I will stop and show you again and again. I'm going from an E minor. Oh, and this is the cool thing. Now look at this. I'm not playing the letter name in the right hand because that doesn't need to. The letter name is in the left hand. So with this line here, I'm going, I'm not moving, and then I'm not going to move it. I'm going to keep it in the same place, and I'm just going to put a C in the bass. I'm going to go back to E again. Isn't that cool? That has to be cool. And then I happen to be here, and by just fooling around and don't have to know what chord to go to next until I found a chord I wanted to go, I was kind of close, and I slipped into like an A major 7. Here's the major 7, not the 7. And I just had a major 7. So I'm going to here. I didn't quite like that, but I liked this. If I was closer. And that was because I was just probably fooling around. I slipped just one down half step and I heard a major 7. I don't know how I found it. I just looked for it and I found it. And so I'm all the way going back, all the way back here. So I'm E minor 7, 2. Move the bass note down a major 3rd, and then I got C, and then I keep the broken chord. I'm not solidly playing. Yes, I am breaking it, and I will go into that tomorrow. I'm breaking it, and then I have to go from this to the next page. Here I am. Now I'm just gonna, from my right hand, what I did when I don't know how I found this. I found it. Okay, I loved fooling it on the Fender Rhodes a lot, with just chords and moving and fractioning them and getting sounds and moving from one chord to the next. And would this sound go to the next? And that's how you do it. You just take a chord here and a chord there. You just kind of just throw them at each other. And when you find something that you like, because you're writing your song, then you play it and remember it and then title it. That's the cool thing. Let's say you made up a song with only 2 chords, which I have many, many, many songs. A long time ago, there were only 2 chords. Then title it, and then you remember what 2 chords you were playing. You'll be surprised. It's a nice little trick. Anyway, so here is this in this position with a B bass. It sounds cool, but watch. If I just happen to go chromatic neighbor to this, it becomes an A major 7 to a B flat major 7. But I didn't go to B flat while I was fooling around. I went down. And I got that beautiful, one of my favorite chords of all times are minor 7/2 chords. And here it is. We're not playing the letter in the right hand, but here's the 2, here's the minor, here's the 5, and here's the 7. But watch if I take and do an inversion, bottom to top, with a G bass. Isn't that cool? And then I discovered by fooling around or whatever, if I just raise one of those notes and put it back to the C bass, I get another chord that's jazzy. So I went from this and then I went down to just a regular E7 2, E7 2 +4, once again the +4, and then just do an E7 2. And then back to the beginning. What? Yep.